Hola a todos y bienvenidos de nuevo a mi canal. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're a heritage speaker who feels disconnected from your language, or if you're embarrassed about not speaking it fluently, then this video is for you. I know what it's like to be stuck between two worlds. You understand the language, but you can't quite speak it the way you'd like. Maybe you're even frustrated because you wish you could connect with your family and your culture more deeply, but the words just don't come out the way you want them to. My name is Chelsea, and I'm a heritage speaker of Spanish myself. I spoke Spanish as a child, and later, from ages 12 to 14, I used comprehensible input and self-study methods to relearn Spanish. By the age of 14, I reached native level fluency in Spanish. I also have a bachelor's and master's degree in Spanish linguistics, and with my background as a Spanish language instructor and tutor, I've helped learners just like you reconnect with their language and culture. Before we dive in, I want to invite you to something special. If you're struggling to make progress in Spanish or want help to create a plan to reach fluency, I'm offering a free Spanish fluency strategy session to help you work through your specific challenges and develop a personalized plan to help you move forward. During our session, we'll identify the key obstacles holding you back in your Spanish learning journey. We'll discuss practical strategies and resources to help you overcome these challenges, and I'll help you build a clear plan for gaining fluency and feeling confident using Spanish in your daily life. I know how it feels to struggle with language skills, and that's why this session is totally free. I want to give you the support you need to succeed without any pressure. I've been through the process myself and understand exactly what it takes. So if you're ready to take the next step in your Spanish learning journey, click the link in the description below to book your free session today. Let's get you on the path to fluency and help you build the confidence you deserve. Ahora, empecemos. Now, let's get started. Alright, let's jump into the heart of today's topic. So, what's really behind the struggle when it comes to speaking Spanish fluently as a heritage learner? First off, you need to understand that your struggles are not unique. They are part of the journey. Many heritage learners of Spanish feel like they can understand the language well, but can't seem to speak it easily. This is common, and it all comes down to a few things: lack of practice, a fear of making mistakes, and identity challenges. Let's talk about each one of these in turn. Many heritage speakers don't have enough consistent speaking practice. While you may have learned Spanish from your family or community, you may not have had many formal opportunities to use it in everyday conversations or more advanced settings. And that's where things can get tricky. Fluency comes with practice, and without regular opportunities to speak the language, it can be hard to feel comfortable expressing yourself, especially when you're not sure of every word or grammatical rule. That's why it's crucial to start actively practicing speaking as much as possible. And by that, I don't just mean memorizing vocabulary. I mean engaging in real conversations. Look for language exchange partners, talk to family members in Spanish, or join online groups where you can have a casual conversation. It's all about getting your brain used to forming those sentences on a daily basis. But there's something even deeper going on here, and it's related to your identity. Now, this next challenge is one that many heritage speakers don't fully recognize: the fear of making mistakes. You see, when you were growing up, you might have faced a lot of criticism about how you speak Spanish. Maybe it was a relative or even a peer who pointed out your mistakes. Or maybe you felt self-conscious because you speak Spanish differently from the perfect Spanish you hear on TV or in formal classes. In fact, research by Escobar and Potosky from 2015 shows that many heritage speakers feel self-conscious about their Spanish because of criticism, because of monolingual Spanish speakers, or because of the influence of English on their speech. And this insecurity can make you hesitant to speak Spanish at all, which can make the problem worse. If we look at studies like those from Goblet and Sanchez from 2016, we see that linguistic insecurity is common among heritage speakers. They often feel like they don't measure up to the standard because their Spanish is influenced by English or other local dialects. And that leads to a fear of rejection, either from their own families or from the larger community. But here's the thing: your Spanish is just as valuable as anyone else's. There's no one correct way to speak Spanish, especially in the diverse communities where it's spoken. Another thing that makes heritage speakers struggle with fluency is a sense of identity. For many, their Spanish proficiency is tied to how they perceive themselves as part of their culture or heritage. If you're struggling to speak fluently, it can feel like you're disconnected from your roots. Farah Ali's study, Identity and Investment in Language Learning, a case study of heritage Spanish speakers, really dives into this issue. In fact, studies like the one by Escobar and Potosky from 2015 shows that many heritage learners face identity struggles because their language use doesn't fit the traditional monolingual model of speaking Spanish. That's when feelings of inadequacy or shame creep in. You may feel like you're being judged for speaking Spanish with an accent or mixing it with English. These insecurities often stem from how society views Spanish, especially in the US, where Spanish is often devalued compared to English, leading to feelings of linguistic inferiority. And as a study from Potosky from 2004 points out, when learners invest more in their identity, feeling accepted for who they are, rather than for the perfect version of their language learning improves dramatically. By the way, if you're relating to what I'm saying, don't forget, I'm offering a free Spanish fluency strategy session to help you get past these fears and struggles. Click the link in the description below to book your free session today. Now that we've covered the three main struggles, let's look at how to overcome them. These solutions will help you move forward and start speaking with more confidence. To overcome the lack of practice, you need to make speaking Spanish a part of your daily routine. Consistency is key. This could mean setting aside 10 to 15 minutes a day to speak Spanish out loud, whether you're talking to yourself, practicing with a language partner, or even recording yourself speaking. The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll become. You could even turn activities you already do, like watching TV shows or listening to music, into language practice. For example, watch a Spanish TV show and try repeating phrases out loud. Or switch your phone to Spanish to get exposed to the language throughout the day. Try reframing your conversations with family members to reduce the pressure of speaking perfectly. Have low-stakes conversations, like describing your day or talking about funny topics that aren't as serious. You could even host a Spanish-only dinner where the focus is on connection and not perfection. This will help you practice in a relaxed environment, removing the stress of getting everything right. This technique is often used by polyglots and language learners to improve fluency. While watching a Spanish show or listening to a podcast, pause after a sentence and try to mimic the rhythm, intonation, and body language of the speaker. This will help you internalize the natural flow of the language. It's like practicing without speaking out loud with someone else and can boost your confidence when you're ready to converse. If you're afraid of making mistakes, remember that mistakes are part of the process. No one becomes fluent without messing up along the way. The key is to embrace mistakes rather than avoid them. When you make a mistake, don't see it as a failure. See it as an opportunity to learn. You can even reframe your mindset and shift your focus away from perfection and instead think about communication. If the goal is to communicate with others, then making a mistake here or there is a minor detail compared to the value of having that conversation. So give yourself permission to mess up and just keep practicing. My next tip is to redefine mistakes as contributions to a bigger conversation. Instead of viewing mistakes as something to avoid, treat them as bigger contributions to the conversation you're having with the language. Every mistake is a sign of progress because it means you're actively engaging with the language. Start tracking your mistakes and reflect on what they taught you. This will not only boost your confidence, but also help you embrace your imperfections. Find a language exchange partner and create an anti-perfectionist pact, where you both agree to speak without worrying about making mistakes. This type of environment helps you practice without the fear of judgment. You'll get comfortable making mistakes and feel more confident speaking the language. Finally, when it comes to identity, redefine what Spanish means to you. It doesn't have to sound like a textbook or a formal class. Your form of Spanish, shaped by your family, community, and experiences, is completely valid. In fact, it's rich and beautiful because it reflects your unique cultural identity. Start celebrating your Spanish instead of comparing it to others. If you're not sure of certain grammar rules, don't worry. Focus on building your vocabulary, learning new expressions, and using the language in ways that feel authentic to you. My next tip is to reclaim your language as a personal story. Write a personal narrative about how your language journey has shaped you. Reflect on your experiences with family, your community, or any cultural moments tied to your Spanish. This helps you connect to your Spanish on an emotional level, making it feel more like it's yours. My next tip is to use identity-driven immersion. Instead of just immersing yourself in Spanish content for your language learning, immerse yourself in Spanish through your passions. Whether it's food, music, or sports, immerse yourself in Spanish through topics that matter most to you. It feels less like a learning task and more like a way to integrate the language into your lifestyle. My final tip is to create an accent diary. If you're struggling with the idea of authenticity, keep an accent diary where you track and celebrate the various Spanish accents that you encounter. This helps you understand the diversity of Spanish And by embracing this diversity, you stop worrying about speaking with the perfect accent. So here's the deal. If you're struggling to speak Spanish, it's often because you're dealing with emotional and identity-based barriers. But remember, you can absolutely overcome them. Start practicing more, embrace your unique Spanish, and shift your focus away from perfection and towards connecting with your heritage and your community. Before we wrap up, I want to remind you to book your free Spanish fluency strategy session. Together, we can create a personalized plan to help you overcome these struggles and start speaking Spanish with confidence. Just click the link in the description below to book your free session now. Así que muchísimas gracias por ver este video y nos vemos en el próximo video. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.